Guy and I are finishing up the Pesach study on the Exodus from Egypt. And one of the things that is clear is deliverance is painful. Deliverance is painful. It's not easy. It's painful. Working out is painful. Moving furniture or moving into a truck down an apartment staircase is difficult, painful. And a lot of work, obviously, is painful, particularly if it's involving physical work. No, work can be painful emotionally, especially if you're a social worker or emergency responder, doctor, police officer, fireman, medic. There's a lot of things that are painful, but particularly deliverance is painful. It's going to hurt a bit, and it's going to cost you. To be free is going to require something, a pain involved. And those in recovery, addicts, people that are detoxing, you know what it's like. It's painful, emotionally, psychologically, physically. Those in hospice care or medical emergency surgeries under treatment for severe disease can be painful. Getting through therapy, burn victims. Ever walk through a burn center? That's a very, very, very painful recovery. Skin grafting. So getting free, getting healed can be painful. It can cost you something, money, time, downtime. Recovering from a fever. When I had COVID, it was painful. Many of you had it, the worst case of it. And it was painful getting through it, getting through pneumonia. Painful. Coming out of malaria. Painful. So pain is involved even in setting something free or getting delivered. Painful. And it's a little scary, isn't it? Going into an MRI machine, doing blood transfusions, plasma transfusions, all kinds of different things. Chemotherapy treatment, right? Painful. I talked to a man who drove me to the airport, a Marine, going through throat cancer for 9 years. He talked about a particular procedure. It's very painful. He had the choice of 2 treatments. One is a pain that is very long-lasting. One is a pain that is very quick, very sharp, and very short. He opted for the one that is the quickest, although it's very sharp, very short, because it wouldn't last as long. Nonetheless, it was painful. And it's hard sometimes, isn't it? Emotionally, recovering from the loss of a loved one can be very painful. Women in recovery from childbirth can be very painful. So when you say you want to be delivered and you're looking to be delivered, what are you really saying? What are we really asking? What are we really expecting? That it's going to happen on a bed of feathers? You know, real deliverance from severe sickness, trauma, or addiction, it's going to be painful. If it's worth it at all, It's going to cost you something. Time, money, and agony. It's a part of it. It's a part of the recovery. It's a part of getting better. So you really can't focus on feeling good. You have to focus on being better, being good. Because getting to good may be very painful and it won't feel very nice. Might not feel nice getting a rebuke or getting a correction. It may hurt you, your ego, your pride, your emotions. But after a good cry and after good pain, you get over it. You wake up in the morning, you've had difficult nights, painful nights. And it's particularly the early onset of a sickness or disease. But again, the recovery. Now you've got the answer. But now here comes the pain. Here comes those needles in your spine, in your bone, or whatever it may be. But you want the light at the end of the tunnel, so you pay for that injection, that painful injection. You endure that discomfort. Israel's exodus, it wasn't easy. It was painful.
Well, remember at the very beginning when Moshe came to deliver them, Pharaoh did not want to let them go, and things actually got worse for them. He said, "Oh, you're just being lazy. Give them more work to do." The people grumbled against Moshe. Well, that's just the beginning. You always have to go down to go up. You start construction. Well, you're at ground level, but you gotta dig down deep before you can build up high. It's just a universal principle that is in play. You have to, you got a bullet in you. Well, you gotta dig into your flesh to get it out. So it is going to hurt. And then when the people got to the Red Sea, they saw the Egyptian closing in. They're all crying out, "Why did you bring us out here? Are there not enough graves in Egypt that you brought us here to die?" Well, then they crossed the Red Sea, Yam Suf. And they walked for 3 days until they found a place that had bitter water. And they grumbled again, "Why did you bring us here? There's no water here." And Moshe cried out to Adonai. And Adonai said, "Why are you crying out to me? Throw this piece of wood in the water and the water will be fine." And then the water was fine and the people drank. But it's the constant uncomfort, the unknown. We don't like that. We like to talk about it, but we don't like to go through it. We all like to watch a movie and see somebody else suffer, right? You root for them, you see their suffering, and you also see them overcome, and you're sitting there eating your popcorn. But when you go through it, it's not so entertaining. It's painful, and it's not the kind of pain that you can enjoy. Like, some people, you get a good deep tissue massage. It's like, oh, it hurts, but it was good. Somebody's, pulling their elbows into your back to release that muscle. No, it's not that kind of pain. It's the kind of pain that brings you down to your knees in tears and cry and sweat and blood. The kind of cry that makes you gnash your teeth and call out to God for help, for grace and salvation and mercy.
Or you're calling out to die. And you get to the point you just want to die. You get comatose. You pass out. A lot of times when you're helping someone in an emergency situation, they pass out from the pain or the stress of the moment. You just faint. People here knock on the door. "I'm sorry, ma'am. Your son was just killed in a car accident." And what happens? Passes out right there. It's so overwhelming, such a shock. Your husband, your daughter, your baby, and you pass out. You fall out. You can get to the point that even before the healing, it is like a killing. It's like a death. It's like you die. You take a person to the edge of the cliff of death, sometimes in medical treatment, to the very point of the edge of the cliff to pull them back, particularly in resuscitating them after a heart attack, to the point of death in order to save the life. And oftentimes it happens. People talk to you and they say, "Well, I feel so much better after talking to you." Well, you may not have succeeded in what you were trying to do in helping them. Perhaps it would have been better for them to leave you saying, I feel worse now after talking to you. And that's usually a lot of times what happens. I've had therapy that felt so bad. The reciprocal effect of the positive benefits would not happen for a while. It may take a day or two. You know, you've taken that nasty, bitter medicine, that elixir, or whatever it was they gave you, that concoction that you put together in the blender, and it's absolutely unbearable. And then an hour after it works through your system, you get the relief, or maybe after a day, or after a week, or after a month. But you have to be able to take it. And it's not always in the instant of the moment feeling the benefit and the emotional high from it. It might be a lot of breaking, a lot of bending, a lot of hurting your feelings before you actually get healed of what's killing you.